What sites do you recommend that people visit in Berlin? What
What
site?
site? Well, like I said, there's a lot to see and do in Berlin. So, if you're like a history buff, Berlin is so rich in history and it has like a really, dark past because of, World War II and the Holocaust, and it was devastated by the Holocaust. And so, um, you know, and then the Holocaust, and then the Berlin Wall is also like an iconic symbol of the city. So there's tons of memorials. There's a Holocaust memorial that's definitely worth seeing, and then there's like a museum underneath that. It's basically a like concrete columns of like varying length, and they don't really say anything on top, but they just represent the victims of the Holocaust. And then when you go underneath them, you see actual relics and artifacts that they have from people's homes that were just basically taken. And it shows you diaries and clothing and stuff like that. So it's a really great monument. And the symbol of the city, I would say, is probably the Brandenburg Gate. You should definitely see that. Um, there's still pieces of the wall throughout the city, but the longest stretch of the wall is at the East Side Gallery, and basically that stretches. I forget the length of it, but each segment has a mural from a different artist, and some of the murals are just breathtaking, and usually in some way are a tribute to the Berlin being a divided city and some of the victims that were lost trying to escape the wall in East Germany. So, and there's tons of tours you can take, basically walking the path of the wall, seeing where people used to live, how they used to live behind the wall. There's, the DDR museum. Um, it
What is
really
the DDR Museum? What is that?
The DDR Museum is basically like it's almost like a time capsule, and it shows you how people lived in East Germany before the wall came down, because East Germany was basically blocked off from the rest of the world, and so things were just different. Like even grocery stores, they could only, they only could, do like trade with other communist countries. So there would be a lot of coffee from Cuba, but I mean, you couldn't find like a mango or, you know, uh, things like that. Like sometimes you can only get, I think it's bananas like twice a year, Christmas and like another time. So, and it's really interesting to see the bathrooms, and they had their own separate money. It was really a separate state from the rest of Germany and the rest of the world. And so it's cool to see how life was different and how people that lived in the same country were basically lived in two totally different ranges. you know so what else is good in Berlin? Like I said, you can do the Philharmonic. Hey, thank you.